Today I want to talk about the legislation introduced by my colleagues Mary Lou McDonald and Maurice Quinlivan last week in collaboration with the Offaly Domestic Violence Support Service, Safe Ireland and SIP2. That's the Organisation of Working Time Domestic Violence Leave 2019. This is really important legislation, and it seeks to provide 10 days paid domestic violence leave to women and men leaving abusive relationships. And in 2017, the European Institute for Gender Equality estimated that the intimate partner violence against women cost EU member states €109 billion each year. That is in terms of mental health services, social services, civil legal costs, criminal justice, employment, housing, and the human and emotional costs as well as that. Now, this legislation has already been introduced and is in place in places like New Zealand, Canada and the Philippines and other jurisdictions, and it's long overdue here, as women who are experiencing domestic violence have high rates of absenteeism from work. But the legislation needs to be underpinned by solid policy on domestic violence and sexual violence, so that we can create a safe place and a supportive workplace for employees experiencing or at risk of domestic violence. So the policy, therefore, can contribute more to job security, to economic opportunities and to independence, and to greater chances for abused women and men to abandon their abusive relationships by facilitating the paid leave. So it will enable the person experiencing the abuse to take time out of work without fear, to put in place and safeguard to keep themselves and their families safe without having to worry about losing a day's pay or being forced to take annual leave or being penalised or being reprimanded or risk losing their position within an organisation. So I would ask for all parties to support this legislation, to get it implemented as soon as possible, because domestic violence impacts on an employee's performance at work, resulting in lost hours and less productivity. And also it's important in terms of having, and I would encourage all workplaces, and I think we should have it here in the Oireachtas as well, to have in place a policy of disclosure as well, where there is a level of training for people that if a disclosure is made on domestic violence, they know how to handle that and they know how to deal with it in a way that it encourages more women and men. And unfortunately, I am coming across more and more men who are experiencing domestic abuse. I've worked in this area for a long time. I welcome the fact that there are more men coming forward, but sometimes I feel they are ignored in the conversation, and everybody is entitled to feel safe in their own home, and that's what we're trying to do with this legislation.